Have you ever wondered what it would be like to come face to face with one of Africa's most deadly predators? In this shocking video, we witness the terrifying last moments of Dr. Richard Root, who was dragged from his boat and devoured by a monstrous Nile crocodile in Botswana. With multiple eyewitnesses, including his wife, this harrowing tale will leave you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned to know the horrifying story, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories. Botswana is one of the most beautiful nations. The longest African river, the Limpopo, flows through the country. The Nile crocodile, Africa's largest and most aggressive, weighs 750 kilograms and grows to over 20 feet long. U.S. infectious disease expert Richard Root. He worked and studied at top North American universities from the 1960s to the early 2000s. The University of Pennsylvania sent him to Botswana for 2 months in 2006 to fight the HIV pandemic. He taught doctors and treated patients and children there. In 2001, Richard remarried Rita O'Boyle, who went to Botswana with him. According to his family, working in Botswana had improved Richard, despite the hard work and long hours. Many who knew him said he looked happier and more fulfilled than ever, and his career was on the rise despite his age. Dr. Richard, his wife, and his friend and colleague, Dr. Harvey Friedman, planned a guided safari through the Thule Nature Reserve on March 19, 2006. The trio took a day off halfway through their 2-month stay in the country to have fun. Their tour visited the reserve's southern Limpopo River section. Giraffes, lions, cheetahs, and waterbucks populate the reserve again. This section of the river is one of Botswana's few crocodile-free areas, and there had never been a crocodile attack in this area before this. Unbeknownst to the group, this would change, and many more lives would follow. Dr. Richard and his friends boarded the canoe that morning, with Richard at the front. Richard was 20 yards behind him in the second boat. Richard gets excited about seeing all the local birds. As the group leaves, the tour guides paddled slowly to avoid surprising hippos. A large Nile crocodile that had sneaked into the Thule Nature Reserve targeted Richard's canoe. Nile crocodiles use their vision to stalk larger prey and can detect the smallest water vibrations. Despite everyone's efforts to be discreet, the boat's and paddles' tiny vibrations and movement had attracted this Nile crocodile, who was now sitting right below the boat's stern with its eyes just poking through the surface at Richard, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Then one of the guides shouts "Croc!" As he says that, the crocodile leaps at Richard, splashing loudly and startling the group. Before Richard can react, the croc lunges at him and grabs his arm, locking its jaws shut, causing the guides to struggle to free him. Richard was pulled from the canoe by a massive croc in front of his horrified companions. The crocodile pulls Richard into the muddy river in seconds, devastating the reader. Rita and the other eyewitnesses on the boat are terrified as an adventure that was supposed to be fun and exciting turns into the most traumatic experience of her life, with Richard's only remains being a large blanket of blood. That day, locals and police searched for the body without success. After days of rescue attempts, they realized the croc had probably eaten his body and gave up. However, it wasn't until March 23rd, a few days after the tragedy, that Richard's mangled corpse was found on the river's shore near the attack. Croc, the perpetrator, was never found. Rita, his wife, would be relieved to find his body, but she would doubt his death for a long time. Richard lived to help others. He taught at some of the nation's top medical schools and was a recognized expert. In Botswana, thousands of patients and colleagues trusted him. One unfortunate event took one of their biggest supporters. As terrifying as it may be, it's a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wild. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for more engaging content.